America is unique. It stands as a beacon of hope and liberty in a world where such values are often under threat. Our nation's foundation is built on the principles of freedom and independence, which have guided us through centuries of challenges and triumphs. We were founded on freedom. This freedom is not just a word, it is a way of life, a core value that defines who we are as a people. From the Declaration of Independence to the Constitution, our founding documents enshrine the rights and liberties that we hold dear. This freedom is under attack. In today's world, there are constant threats to our liberties, both from within and outside our borders. We see it in the erosion of our rights, the encroachment of government power, and the challenges to our way of life. Many Americans see God and guns as essential to protecting our nation. These symbols represent more than just faith and self-defense. They are intertwined with our identity and our commitment to preserving our freedoms. This is about more than politics. It is about faith. Faith in a higher power, faith in our fellow citizens, and faith in the principles that have made our country great. It is about the moral and spiritual foundation that underpins our society. It is about our duty to God and country. This duty calls us to stand up for our beliefs, to defend our rights, and to ensure that future generations inherit the same freedoms we cherish. For many Christians, the right to own a gun is not just a political stance. It is a deeply held belief that aligns with their faith and their understanding of their role in society. It is a God-given right. This belief is rooted in the conviction that individuals have the right to protect themselves, their families, and their communities. It is rooted in the Bible. The scriptures provide guidance and support for the idea that self-defense is a fundamental right and responsibility. It is about protecting our families. Ensuring the safety and security of our loved ones is a paramount concern for many Americans, and the right to bear arms is seen as a crucial aspect of this protection. It is about standing up for what is right. In a world where our values are constantly challenged, it is essential to remain vigilant and proactive in defending our freedoms. This belief is deeply woven into the fabric of our nation. It is part of our heritage, our culture, and our identity as Americans. It is part of what makes America special. Our commitment to freedom, our respect for individual rights, and our dedication to preserving these values set us apart from other nations. It is why we must stand strong against those who want to take our rights away. We must be vigilant and resolute in protecting our freedoms from any threats, whether they come from within or outside our borders. We must never compromise on our freedom. Our rights are non-negotiable, and we must be prepared to defend them at all costs. We must remember our history. The lessons of the past guide us in the present and help us navigate the challenges of the future. Our founding fathers understood the importance of the Second Amendment. They recognized that a well-armed citizenry was essential to maintaining a free and just society. They knew that a well-armed citizenry was essential to a free society. This principle has been a cornerstone of our nation's defense against tyranny and oppression. They knew that it was a safeguard against tyranny. The right to bear arms is a critical component of our ability to resist oppression and maintain our freedoms. The Bible is clear. We have a duty to protect ourselves and our families. This duty comes from God. It is not something we can ignore. In Luke chapter 22, verse 36, Jesus tells his disciples to sell their cloaks and buy swords. He knew that danger was coming. He wanted them to be prepared. This shows us that self-defense is not unchristian. It is necessary. When we take responsibility for our safety, we honor God. We are being good stewards of the lives He has given us. We are also protecting the innocent. This is a fundamental part of our faith. We must not be afraid to stand up for what is right. We must not be afraid to defend ourselves. This is our God-given right. It is our duty. Christian values are under attack in America. The right to bear arms is a key part of this battle. Many Christians see it as a line in the sand. The right to life and the right to bear arms are inseparable. Both are about protecting the innocent. Both are under attack. We must fight for both with equal passion. We cannot be silent. We must make our voices heard. We must vote for leaders who will uphold our rights. Our faith demands it. Our country depends on it. We must stand together. We must be united in our defense of freedom. This is the only way to ensure that America remains a beacon of hope for the world. Section 4. A Nation Divided, Bridging the Gap on Gun Control. The issue of gun control divides America. It is a topic that sparks intense emotions and passionate debates across the country. It creates tension between those who cherish their God-given right to keep and bear arms, viewing it as fundamental to their freedom and security, and those who advocate for stricter gun laws, believing that more regulations are necessary to ensure public safety and prevent tragedies. The Founding Fathers were very clear in their vision and intent when writing the Constitution. Shall not be infringed means exactly that. No restrictions, no regulation, no infringements. Any and all gun control is unconstitutional. The government has no power or right to pass any law that restricts the rights of the citizens. Any public official who pushes any form of gun control is violating their oath of office and should be immediately removed and charged with sedition. My rights are not up for negotiation. I will not respect or follow any law that restricts my God-given right to defend myself and my family in whatever form I deem necessary. Gun control does nothing but turn law-abiding citizens into victims. Criminals by their very nature do not follow laws. Section 5. Scriptural Guidance, Seeking Answers in God's Word. The Bible provides guidance on these complex issues. In Genesis chapter 9, verse 6, God tells Noah, "Whoever sheds the blood of man, by man shall his blood be shed." This verse establishes the sanctity of life. It also recognizes the right to self-defense. These verses are not contradictory. They are complementary. They show us that God values both life and justice. He understands our need to protect ourselves. We must interpret these verses with wisdom and discernment. We must apply them to our modern context. We must seek God's guidance in understanding how best to live out our faith in a fallen world. Our faith should inform our actions. It should guide our decisions. It should lead us to a place of peace and understanding. Section 6. The Second Amendment, a cornerstone of liberty. This section of the Constitution holds a special place in the hearts of many Americans. The Second Amendment is clear, a well-regulated militia being necessary to the security of a free state. The right of the people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed. These words have echoed through the centuries, reminding us of our inherent rights. This is not a suggestion. It is a declaration, a promise to every citizen. It is a fundamental right, a right that forms the bedrock of our freedoms. Our Founding Fathers understood the dangers of tyranny. They knew that power unchecked could lead to oppression. They had just fought a war to escape it, a war that was brutal and costly, but necessary for the birth of a new nation. They enshrined the right to bear arms in our Constitution to prevent it from happening again, to ensure that future generations would have the means to defend their freedom. The Second Amendment is not about hunting. It is not merely a provision for recreational activities. It is not about sport shooting. It is about freedom. It is about the preservation of liberty and the protection of our way of life. It is about the ability of the people to defend themselves against any threat, foreign or domestic. It empowers citizens to stand up against any form of aggression. It is a cornerstone of our liberty, a pillar that supports the structure of our society. It is a safeguard against tyranny, a shield that protects us from the overreach of power. It is a right that we must never surrender, a right that we must cherish and protect for the sake of our future and the generations to come. Section 7. Our sacred duty, protecting our rights, preserving our freedom. We are at a crossroads in America. The freedoms we hold dear are under threat. The right to bear arms is essential to protecting all our other rights. We must be vigilant. We must be informed. We must be engaged in the political process. We must vote for leaders who will uphold their oath to defend our Constitution. Our freedom is not a gift. It is an inheritance. It was bought and paid for with the blood of patriots. It is our sacred duty to protect it. Let us stand together as Americans. Let us defend our rights. Let us preserve our freedom for generations to come. Our children and grandchildren are counting on us. God bless America. Stay frosty, my friends. Keep your head down and your powder dry.